Welcome all to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Yogesh Patil from the Department of Science, IT and CS. Today we are going to discuss the topic for SYBSc Computer Science for semester 4, and the subject is Android application development, and today's topic is Android UI controls. Friend, we have divided this topic in 3 different parts. So we are going to discuss the very first topic, that is for what are the different UI controls we have while developing an Android app in this session. Okay, let's start with the very first, that is what is mean by UI, that is user interface, and these are the input methods through which user can interact with the application or any other software, or we can say with the computer. So this is these are nothing but an interactive components for our app, and Android is providing a wide variety of the controls. These kind of controls we also used in the various languages like .NET or Java applets and etc. etc. So these kind of UI controls we have like buttons, text fields, or checkbox, radio buttons, toggle buttons, likewise. So as you can see in the images, we have the various type of buttons or UI controls we have in Android Studio. So UI element, as we can say, view in an object that draw something on a screen. Okay, it is a something which we have on our screen which is visible to the user, and user can easily interact with them through keyboard or through mouse or any other input medium. And these are the view groups, and view groups are nothing but it holds the various view objects, and we also define this by using a layout in our XML file, and it offers a human readable structure for our layout, that is nothing but our code, which basically we write in a HTML. We have already learned how to write code for creating a form in HTML. So same kind of thing we are going to do over here with the help of code. So as you can see on a screen, we have few codes. As you can see, this is the simple vertical layout with a text view and the button. So by using this code, we are implementing a text as well as a button in our application, or we can say an Android app. So we are using an XML code along with the version 1.0, and we have used encoding technique, that is UTF-8. Now as we have seen earlier that we are using various layouts for creating an app. So here we are using an linear layout. With the help of that, we are inserting 2 different UI controls, that is text view or a text box and radio button, button. So as you can see, for that we have 2 different HTML code or tags over there. So here we have text view, which contains Android ID, Android layout width, Android layout height, and Android text. And this text, whatever we are going to write in that particular text, it will display on that text or a text box on our application. So here we have written I am a text view. So that I am a text view, it is going to be displayed on our text box when we run the application, or we will run the app. Then the button, here we are using same or a common attributes like Android ID, layout, width, layout, height. These are some common IDs, even the Android text. But when we write a text, that text is not editable on button because button has its own property. So it will just displaying on button, just like if we are writing a submit or OK, cancel, that kind of button if we are using, that particular text will display on our button by using Android text. So, and we can close the layout. So this is a basic layout for creating or inserting text as well as button. These two UI we can inserting with this code, and this code we are going to write in our XML file, that is activity_main.xml. So friends, in this session now we are going to discuss the various different Android UI controls. In Android or in Android Studio we have 13 basic UI controls which we are going to use for designing or for giving an interface to our user while accessing the application. So there are number of UI controls which has been provided by Android, and that allowed you to build your graphical user interface while creating your app. So these controls are nothing but the very first control which we have, that is a basic control. It is nothing but an text view, and this control is used to display the text to the user. So whenever user want to display whenever we want to display any text to the user, we can use this text view. Okay, and in this text view will work just like a label to on a form. Then we have a edit text. Now this edit text is nothing but a predefined subclass of a text view, and it includes a rich editing capabilities. So if we want to edit a text just like a text box, so we can use this edit text by which we can, or a user can interact with the app. Then we have autocomplete text view. Now this autocomplete text view is nothing but it is just similar to edit text, but what it has, it shows a list of completion suggestions automatically while we are using or while user is typing. For example, as you can see on a Google, while we searching on a Google, whenever we type anything, Google just shown a drop down list of some suggested question or suggested searching criteria. Same kind of thing we can apply in our app, okay, by using autocomplete text view. Then the next next UI control is button. So by using buttons, these are nothing but the push button, and this push button can be pressed or clicked, or a user can touch it, and by using that we can do the particular option like clicking or pressing button, and by this we can run a particular method, or we can call the particular method when that action or that event has been happened. Later on we will see it in event handling, that how we are handling these events. So whenever we or a user is clicking on that particular button, or whenever the user is touching on that button will get focused and enabled, and it will call the particular method whatever we have selected on that button or for that action. Then the next, that is image button. Now image button is basically similar to the button, but a basic difference in between both, that it contains an image instead of the text, or we can say it is a complete image rather than the normal button. So an image button is an absolute layout which enables you to specify the exact location of its children, and it shows the button with an image. So we can locate its children, means its child components we can locate, as well as this button is contains image as we have discussed earlier, and it also can be pressed or clicked or can be touched by the user. So we can touch, as you can see in this slide. Here we have buttons which contains a normal text, that is button, but instead of that we can have an image, so that will be a image button. Then the next, that is checkbox. So friends, checkbox is the user control through which user can give a boolean expression or a boolean value to the app, like if I want to on or off the control, if I want to select that particular value, just like a yes or no. So in that case we can use, for example, if I want to choose multiple options, like what are the different hobbies, okay, so we can do reading, writing, etc., etc. So we have a choice to select multiple options in that. So checkbox is containing an on-off switch which can be toggled by the user for that particular option, and we can use a checkbox when we are presenting user with a group of selectable options, and these options are not mutually exclusive. Means if I am selecting a reading as an hobby, then rest will be, if rest are non-selected, and if I want to select cooking also as an hobby, then in that case that cooking as well as reading both will be unable. So that is nothing but a checkbox is scalable option and it is not mutually exclusive. Then we have a toggle buttons. Toggle buttons are similar to checkbox, but instead of a square rectangle which is clickable and which shows just like a tick mark, instead of that we have a button which contains an on off like keys. Let's see in this image, we have on and off. That kind of button is nothing but an toggle button. When we click the button and if it is off, and after our clicking or after our pressing that button, it will automatically convert to the on button. So as you can see on the image, it will directly convert to the on, and if it is on and we clicking that particular button, it will changes to the off. So these kind of button having only a boolean value, that is on, off or true, false. Then we have a radio buttons. Radio buttons are in a rectangle type of shape, and these are nothing but the group or a selected group of the, or this group is a group of the option, and these are mutually exclusive, and this button having only two values, whether checked or unchecked. So if we are checking that button, okay, just like this, as you can see, there is a one rectangle round or a circle which is empty, and another circle is filled with a blue dot, that is nothing but we have checked that. Similarly, as you can see on the right side of it, we have a square, that is a checkbox. So this is basically a visible difference in between radio and the checkbox. As well as logical difference is nothing but whenever we selecting a radio button, we can select only one radio button from the group. So for that we have a radio group. So radio group is used to be grouped multiple radio buttons at the same time. So we can have a different groups on a same form. For example, select a gender, male, female, others. So we can select only one value in between that. So in that case we can use a radio button or one group of radio button. And similarly, below we have some another options, like whether you are a salarized person or you are government employee or you are businessman. So we have to choose only one option amongst that. So we can get another radio group. We can create another radio group for user. Then next, that is a progress bar. Progress bar, it is nothing but it provides a view or a visual feedback about some ongoing task. It shows a progress for that particular task, such as when we are performing a task in a background, it is showing the progress, that how much it has been completed. Then we have just like this, as you can see over here, we have one kind of progress bar. At the bottom you can see the progress bar, how it has been sliding. Then we have a sniper. Sniper is nothing but a drop down list which allows user to select only one option from the list. It is similar to the combo box which we have learned in Android Studio or HTML, DHTML like. So then we have a time picker. Time picker, it enables user to select the time from the current day. User can select the time either within a 24-hour format or a 12 hours format. And also we have AM PM mode. So AM PM mode is nothing but a 12-hour format, and 24-hour format, in that we can give the value from 0 to 24. Then we have a date picker format. Date picker, it enables user to select a date from the given menu. So if we want to ask user to enter your date, okay, so rather than entering the manual value, we can give and we display, or we can give one visual to the user, and from there just like a calendar view, and from there user can select its date. So all these are nothing but 13 different UI controls which we have in Android Studio. So how to create UI controls? For creating UI controls, what we need that particular interface. We have to drag down it from the given component, or we can write a code which we have seen earlier for text view and the button. Similarly, we are also need to give an ID. ID is an unique number or a unique identification for that particular control throughout our Android application. As you can see over here, we have created one UI control which contains a text view. In that text view, as you can see, we have given an ID, width and height, and as well as we have given one text. This is the same example which we have seen previously. And finally, for creating an instance, the control object and the capture it from the layout. So we can have the value just like a text view. Then my text, it will be an object for that particular class like text view, and we are passing the value. So we can give the particular ID, and this ID we can have in our method or our function, and we can cache this value with the help of ID. So whatever we have written here, just like for example, I am writing something on our Android text, like I am a text view. This we have right over here. So this value is captured by my function or a method with the help of this code. This code is just nothing but this code is getting a value with the help of ID which we have given to that particular control. So thank you very much, and please do subscribe the channel. Thank you.